feature. There's no room for a Jeep. We are Porcine feature. Pig skin, no creep. Carve up on my skin.
Welcome to episode 4 of Vanished, where we continue our investigation in trying to find the whereabouts of missing writer and journalist Simon Groves on Bristol. This recording was recorded when Simon was interviewing someone who was released from a Turkish prison many years ago.
25 years. 25 years I spent in a Turkish prison. Of course, it was for the usual, trying to smuggle hash out of the country. Rough day, the first day of prison. The guards both looked like Chris Kamara. Took me to an empty room, tied me upside down and smashed the soles of my feet in with poles, and beat me to an inch of my life. The thing is, I'm a bit of a masochist, so I didn't mind. Usually you have to pay through the nose to get a treatment like that back in England. The food was what hit me hard. They force-fed me Turkish delight. I pleaded with them that I don't like fruit and chocolate together, but they wouldn't stop forcing it down my throat. The inmates were worse. They would not stop. Every day I'd hear they'd shout, "Want to play footy in the yard? Want to play basketball? We're having a game of cricket in a minute if you want to make the numbers." They knew I hated sport, but they would not stop being so nice. It was unbearable. They'd always have a sing-along in the cells to keep morale up. I hated every night. My screams were drowned out by thousands of Turks singing Agadoo. All that Turkish tea, I liked what the wardens gave me. Had a kick, but the inmates will give me their own, and it was just so bland. Turns out the wardens were pissing in my tea, which gave it an edge, and I liked the way they threw it in my eyes. The worst part was getting dragged out of my cell by guards and taken to the laundry room. Made me undress and forced me to wear a dress. And that's when they made me play Nancy in the prison showing of Oliver Twist. Weeks and weeks of practicing the song "I'd Do Anything," singing with an overweight Turkish man in his 50s pretending to be an 8-year-old boy. His singing was awful. But anyway, that stopped. 3 weeks of it. I finally snapped and bit his tongue out. He ain't singing anymore. I had enough. I had to get out of there. I spent a couple of weeks screaming and trashing the place, and then they finally sent me to a Turkish prison for the criminally insane. You should have seen it there. They were all in there for unforgivable crimes. There was shit on the walls, sounds of people wailing going through the corridors. On a daily occurrence, people would scratch and gouge you. You'd had to live off old bread and water if you were lucky. And the guards would do unspeakable things to you. It was heaven.
We tried tracking down this man who was in the recording, but it turns out he got homesick, and so he got himself sentenced back to the mental institution in Turkey. This next recording, we believe that Simon was investigating into local businesses around the Bristol area.
You want a lager? You can have one, I've got loads. Yeah, ice cream, man. It's a man's life, that is. I always wanted to be a milkman ever since I was a child. I remember seeing the ice cream man, Bert. He was so popular on the street, everyone would always have a smile for him. You know, stop and chat. Well, between you and me, all the ladies loved him. Yeah, so I managed to get a route quite some time later, and, well, things were changed. Nobody smiles at me. Most people tell me to piss off when I try and start a conversation. You know, kids tried letting me tyres down. They call me the Milky Bar Nonce. I mean, I try correcting them, but they just throw stones at me, you know. You sure you don't want a beer? Actually, no, I'll tell you what, if you have one, I'll give you it. It means that I can't have it. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, ice cream. Turns out the women don't find the men in ice cream uniform very appealing anymore. I haven't had much success with the ladies. Well, there was that one time, actually, yeah. I delivered ice cream to this old lady's house. Heard her screaming from upstairs. I kicked the door open, I ran in. only to find a little old lady trapped in the bathtub. Well, I slipped rushing to help her, and we became somewhat intertwined together. Anyway, nothing bad came from it. There was no damage. Well, apart from having to take her to the health clinic a month later. I mean, you'd never think a woman of 80 would get pregnant, do you? Anyway, I have a wife. Well, no. Sorry, no. I had a wife. She vanished shortly after the incident with the old lady. But there were other problems, which probably started my drinking problem. Imagine walking in on your wife, right, and your more successful brother, and Bert, your ice cream man hero. What was worse was that my old school bully was watching from the wardrobe. Anyway, that started me drinking, and, well, like I say, I haven't seen my wife since. It's weird, when you melt down a body, it goes to like a pink colour. And if you freeze it, it almost looks like strawberry ice cream. She always said I'd grind it down. She didn't mean literally, though. Anyway, I've started handing out free strawberry ice cream to the local kids. Could say it has my wife's blood, sweat and tears in it. Last time they called me the Milky Bar Nonce.
We found the whereabouts of this ice cream man, who is currently in Parkhurst Prison, servicing a life sentence for forceful cannibalism in his local area. Unfortunately, he did say to us that Simon Groves left the area just after he tried giving him some strawberry ice cream. Here we have an undercover recording Simon took in a local mental health facility. A fascinating look into the world, though it may be legal, but is very dubious. But good thing nobody with any legal knowledge listens to this.
Look at those disgusting freaks. Look at them sinning. It makes me sick. Stephen. Audrey. Oh dear. He thinks he's God again. Obviously hiding his medication. You filthy little beasts. Don't think I'm not remembering this. I'm God. You're going to burn in hell, Tom Breyer. You as well, John Edmondson. Yeah, I know your names, you sick people. I'm the Alpha and the Omega. I know the exact size of both your small intestines, too. Excuse me, Mr. God? What is it? Oh, well. People are dying in the Middle East. It's horrible. They're asking for your help and guidance. And I think you've been forgetting to take your holy pills, haven't you? Oh, look at that. Why do that? It's just wrong, isn't it? Oh, no. Mr. God. What is it, Gabriel? Look, we've been through this. My name is not Gabriel. It's Nurse Windermere. And you are Harry Milligan. And you suffer from an acute messiah complex. More to the point, you've not been taking your medication, and you think you're omnipotent again. What day is it, Gabriel? It is the 12th of August, Mr. Milligan, which makes it what day? Tuesday. And what do I do every Tuesday? Well, Mr. Milligan, you say you're gay watching, but I gay watch all day. I've done it for millennia. Ever since my greatest creations started doing things wrong. Well, maybe you could have fixed that. Shut up. And, think about it. Having Eve's kids have to have sex with her to help kickstart the whole thing. Shut up, Gabriel. Mr. God. What? Do you really need to put on that voice? We all know you're not that deep and booming. Yes, I do. Why? You dare question the Lord? Look, you can't use that to get out of every situation, Mr. Milligan. I'm going to go get your pills and you're going to bloody take them, alright? I'll be back in a minute. Look, just go back to watching your monitor, Gabriel. Tell me when the bald Russian one starts having sex with the fat orange American one. Oof, dirty. Oh, dirty, horrible things. Oh, and I want shepherd's pie for tea, please.
When we approached the psychiatric ward where Simon was doing this interview, we were told by the nurses that unfortunately Simon left because he was not given enough juicy information. Here is the final recording now where he was speaking to a local couple about their relationship.
Hi, I'm Sandra, and this is my boyfriend Tom. Go on, Tom. Tell them.
I'm Sandra's boyfriend, Tom.
And we've been going out together for nearly a month.
Well, more like 2 weeks.
Oh, Tom, stop showing off to the camera. It's been nearly a month. And tell Mr. Groves what we did for the first time last week.
We did shaggins.
Yeah, we did 3.5 shaggins. The fourth time, we stopped.
I couldn't stop my eyes from weeing.
Yeah, Tom couldn't stop crying. But apart from that, it were great, weren't it, Tom?
Sandra's nipples look like John Merrick's knuckles.
No, they don't, Tom. Stop showing off. Anyway, I don't know why you're making comments. Your little fella looks like an anteater's mouth.
Let's not talk about that now.
Anyway, it was a special time for both of us, as it's our first time.
Weren't the first time for me.
Just because you once got touched up by that lollipop lady who looks like Iggy Pop doesn't actually mean you've done it.
Well, you did do it, though.
Oh, ignore Tom. He's always showing off. So, yeah, we both live with our parents and struggle to get any privacy, so we did our first time in Tom's granddad's bed.
Yeah, Grandad's bed. But we were careful.
We were very careful, although we did have a bit of a scare at one point. We almost woke up Tom's granddad at one point.
I told you. We didn't have to worry about that. Grandad was dead for weeks at that point. There was no way he was waking up.
We tracked down Sandra, who told us not long after this recording Simon left in disgust, but also her and Tom also broke up purely because he couldn't break away from him and his grandfather's relationship. Apparently they are currently in Swansea, living together, both dead and alive. Thank you for listening to episode 4 of Vanished, and join us next week where we will continue to look into the whereabouts of Simon Groves.